December 5th, 1872. 400 miles from Gibraltar.
A sailor aboard the Dei Gratia lifts his spyglass and freezes.
A ship under sail, but sailing wrong, turning slowly with the wind, as if the hand on the wheel had simply let go. Waves crash over the bow of the Dei Gratia as she changes course toward the drifting vessel.
They call out. Nothing answers but the wind. For 2 hours, they close the distance, watching a ship that refuses to explain itself.
What they find will haunt maritime history. Sails set, some torn and hanging loose. 6 months of food and water still sealed below deck.
In the captain's cabin, charts still spread across the table. A child's toys scattered mid-play. A sewing machine with a half-finished piece of clothing lying beside it, as if someone had risen from the chair, mid-stitch, and simply never come back. Slow pan across the empty chair, the sewing machine, then out toward the open cabin door. What they don't find is a single person. Not the captain, not his family, not one of the 7 crewmen who sailed with him. 10 people, gone, no struggle, no note, no bodies ever found. Her name is the Mary Celeste. And what happened to the 10 people who sailed her out of New York a month earlier has never been fully explained.
More than 150 years later, investigators, historians, and sailors are still asking the same question. And the ocean has never given up the answer.
The mystery of the Mary Celeste.
To understand what happened aboard the Mary Celeste, you first need to know something the crew themselves may not have fully understood.
This ship had already tried to kill people before she ever left port that November. Built in 1861 on Spencer's Island, Nova Scotia, she was originally named the Amazon. Her very first captain fell ill and died within days of taking command. She ran aground. She collided with another vessel. She caught fire while docked. Eventually, she sank off Cape Breton, salvaged from a wreck. Reborn as the Mary Celeste. Salvaged, rebuilt, renamed. By 1872, under new American ownership, she looked like any other solid, seaworthy trading vessel. Her troubled past seemingly behind her, no one boarding her. That November could have known her worst days weren't behind her at all. They were still ahead. November 7th, 1872. New York Harbor. At the helm stood Captain Benjamin Briggs, 37 years old, deeply religious, and one of the most trusted sailors on the Atlantic trade routes. Careful, methodical, a man who had crossed this ocean more times than he could count. But this crossing was different from everyone before it. For the first time, Briggs brought the 2 people he loved most out onto open water with him. His wife, Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia. Their older son stayed home with relatives. None of the 3 would ever set foot on land again. Whatever happened aboard that ship in the weeks ahead, it wouldn't just take a captain. It would take an entire family, together, in the same unexplained instant. 7 experienced sailors joined them. Men with clean records, chosen carefully for this voyage. Below deck, 1,701 barrels of raw industrial alcohol, undrinkable, bound for wineries in Genoa, Italy. The night before departure, Briggs shared dinner with a fellow captain, a man named David Morehouse, master of a ship called the Dei Gratia. Neither man had any idea how soon, and how strangely, their 2 ships would meet again. The Mary Celeste pulling away from the dock, sails catching wind. New York's skyline shrinking behind her. For the first week and a half, the crossing was ordinary, routine entries in the ship's log. Position, weather, nothing more. A hand writing the final line, ink still wet. Then, on November 25th, the log simply stops. 10 days later, on December 5th, Morehouse and his crew find her, drifting, silent, roughly 400 nautical miles off the course she should have taken. The boarding party's report reads like a checklist of small, unsettling details. The only lifeboat aboard, gone. Some sails still set, but torn, as if left to fend for themselves in a storm nobody survived to describe. The compass, knocked out of position, a stretch of railing near the bow, removed, possibly to make it easier to lower a boat over the side in a hurry. But the strangest clue wasn't on deck at all. It was below, where the real countdown to the crew's final decision may have begun. The ship's pump, partially taken apart. 9 feet, not enough to sink, but enough to terrify a crew that didn't know that yet. And of the 1,701 barrels of alcohol stored below, 9 stand completely empty. 9 empty barrels, a missing lifeboat, a disassembled pump. And yet, the crew's money, their jewelry, their most personal belongings sit untouched. The captain's logbook is still there, its final entry 10 days old. Whatever made 10 people leave this ship, it wasn't robbery. And judging by what they left behind, it wasn't planned either. They vanished from a ship that never sank, and the only witnesses to what happened are the objects they left in their hurry to leave. Morehouse brought the ship into Gibraltar to claim salvage rights. What followed was one of the strangest legal inquiries in maritime history. The Attorney General leading the case, Frederick Solly Flood, arrived at one conclusion almost before the investigation had even started. He believed the men who found the ship hadn't found her at all. He believed they'd made her empty themselves. For 3 months, investigators searched obsessively for bloodstains, for weapons, for any sign of violence. They found a sword in the captain's cabin, marked with something reddish-brown, stains on the deck that looked, to the naked eye, like blood. Both were tested. Neither one was blood. The case closed with no evidence of a crime, and no real answer either. The Dei Gratia's crew were paid a reduced salvage reward, far below the usual rate. Not quite an accusation, but not quite an apology either. The court had run out of evidence, the public hadn't run out of imagination, and that's where the story started to spiral.